Predominantly in Cognos BI and Cognos TM1, and apart from that I also give training on TM1 and Cognos BI. I presume that you are more interested in Cognos BI training, and would like to know what your background is and like what your interest is and what really you want out of this training. So that will help me if at all you want to go ahead and take the training. So
Sure. Ravi, yeah, my name is Jignesh here, and I've been working as a business analyst for the last 5 years, and mostly as a BA. I've been working on the different reporting tools, but I have never had a chance to work on any of the BI tools, because mostly I've been working on the business and SME, like subject matter expert side, because I have a background in the healthcare. So I haven't had that much working experience on the different technologies. So I just want to have, I just want to strengthen my technical knowledge as well as so I can add these skills to my resume, and I can market to myself easily.
Oh, okay, fine. So is it like the Cognos BI? I mean, is it something that is the ongoing practice in your organization? I mean, is there any projects coming up or something like that that you want to take up, or just like just for your knowledge sake? Is it?
No, there's no project going on right now. But when I go for the next project, this is the definite tool that I would present it to myself, present it to the organizations.
Okay, so you have a healthcare background.
Yes, I do have a healthcare background. Right.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Even I'm working in a healthcare IT company right now. So.
Okay, but you are here.
Yeah, I'm in India.
Oh, you are in India. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It's over here. It's there's a huge potential for healthcare. If you have like healthcare and IT experience, there are so many projects going on.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like $1 trillion industry in US.
Yes, certainly. I mean, I've been working in that industry from 7-8 months, so certainly, I mean, I'm realizing that.
Right.
Yeah. So let's I'll just give you a quick, overview about the what BI is and what Cognos BI is all about, and I mean, just like a demo kind of a session which we'll have today, and let's see how it goes out. And
okay.
Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I'll just start off what it is and what do you want to do and what it will be in Cognos BI. Okay. So basically, I mean, when you talk about business intelligence, there'll be two questions in your mind. That, I mean, whenever I mean, there's a thumbnail of Cognos BI, which is like, how are we doing, what should we be doing, and why are we doing? Okay. So basically, this is everywhere. When you Google Cognos, when you do anything, this is the thumbnail of the IBM product. I mean, these three questions. Okay, and which is valid as well. I mean, when we are dealing with BI, I mean, what is BI? I mean, it's like analyzing what your sales performance were, what your finance is doing, what your product development is doing, what your operations is doing, marketing is doing. Basically, we have transaction system like the ERP, like the SAP ERP, or could be some third-party ERP, Oracle, or some other ERP, Sun systems. Okay, so we keep on entering data into the system. Okay, but I mean, getting the value addition out of the data is given by the business intelligence tool.
Right.
Okay, so how are we doing is certainly the current form of, I mean, what we are doing in the transaction system, and analyzing those data answers the question of why are we doing it. Okay, so business intelligence is all about that only. So it includes basically the reporting, analysis, the planning, which is the other tool of Cognos, which is Cognos TM1. Reporting and analysis comes in Cognos BI, and measuring and monitoring comes in Cognos BI as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So as I said, that the BI is actually provides you the historical, the past, what happened in the past, what's happening currently, what is going to happen, like the predictive analysis, like in the healthcare industry, right? So you have certain, certain patients with certain diagnosis. Okay, so say assume that people in the range of 40 to 50 are diagnosed with some heart disease. Okay, so predicting, there's one predictive analysis tool in Cognos as well, which is known as SPSS. Okay, so predicting the predicting what age is prone to heart diseases. Okay, by having a business intelligence in place, wherein they say that, okay, fine, this age is having more percentage of people having heart disease in this age, say 40 to 50, this age group. So you can really predict the outcome of what will happen by using the business intelligence tool. Say a physician a physician is diagnosing a person with some sort of a, there's some sort of a what is the how much time the patient is coming again. It's some patient in inpatient and outpatient kind of a thing, wherein the patient if he is visiting quite often, then the physician score is not good or something like that. So it's kind of a analytics which gives you a good picture of what you should be doing rather than what you are currently doing. So it helps you support better decision making process. Okay. So as you can see, it's called a decision support system kind of thing. These are good things to tell out, but knowing it BI is important, like what will give you out.
Okay, so it's basically, if I understood it right, so it just taking the data from the different operations or finance, different teams, and then present it to the management in a better way, so they can make the decisions.
Correct. This one part of analytics. This one part of analytics, wherein we take out data from the database, maybe some ERP system, or from very different data source. The HR would have its own system, the HR management portal or something like that. HR would be storing its data in that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The finance guys would be storing the data in their own format. Okay. So it takes data from different data sources. Okay, and shows a good picture. Like the finance guy would have some reporting. Okay, would have some reporting to do. The HR guys would have some reporting to do, and the management would be interested in analytical kind of a reporting,
right,
wherein they'll analyze some measure some performance of the organization. Like, okay, fine, what was my net profit? What was my what has been my sales? What is how the purchase has gone through. So the management would expect these high level reports wherein they can analyze, and the person who are in the lower age lower kind category, like the HR, the finance, they'll be more so interested in their own sets of reports.
Okay, understood. So each department, they would be using like a reports as their tool, and
yes, certainly,
while the higher management, they would use that analytical tool.
Certainly, yeah. Okay, so basically this is the Cognos BI suite that I'll just take you through, like the questions that were presented. How are we doing? Okay.
Right.
So how are we doing is like the dashboards, your scorecard system. Dashboards basically something that comes up readily available once you log into the system, once the management logs into the system every day, and just logs into Cognos and see, okay, this is my dashboard, and okay, fine, this is what we are, how are we doing currently. So it will actually give him a report in one page, wherein there will be 5-10 reports, like the sales performance, the finance performance, the HR performance. These all reports would be there in his dashboard as he logs in. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it gives you I can just read out what it is actually. It gives you the full range of BI capabilities. Certainly, I explained you what BI is. So Cognos BI gives you the entire range of capability of BI. Okay, and open enterprise class platform to provide IT cost effectively scale to meet growing user demands. So basically, it's a very scalable system wherein you can have it in any operating system, and it's easy to use as well for the end user. I mean, there are certain tools for the end users as well, and as for the developers as well. Okay, so certain tools like the Analysis Studio, the Query Studio, these are the tools for the end user, which is easy to use for them. Okay, and framework and proven practice is something that is always there with IBM, and it's kind of a more technical thing wherein they provide the expertise to ensure success on the journey to performance management. So these are all the sales jargon of IBM. Okay.
Okay.
So again, I mean, the question of how are we doing is answered by the dashboards. Is something that I was telling you, the dashboards.
So okay, so that picture is the dashboards.
Yeah, it's a dashboard.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what are we doing? I mean, how are we doing? I mean, these all reports. I mean, in one particular one page itself, it's coming up. Okay. And
okay.
then we see. I mean, why are we doing? Okay. So you have data.
Just, the scorecarding is the same as the dashboard, or scorecarding?
Yeah, scorecarding is also the same. I mean, it's kind of a metrics where you do some kind of a measurement. Kind of a thing. So it's the same. I mean, scorecarding is more of a kind of for strategic decisions, for decision which you would take for a long time, for a long term. Okay, so scorecarding is basically for that, and dashboard is certainly having a quick glance at what is happening currently. Okay, scorecard would certainly help you to take some benchmark decision, some strategic decision wherein, okay, fine, I need to change a certain way of selling things or certain way of doing a business. Okay, so basically scorecarding is used for that. Okay, so I mean the tool answers both the questions of I mean both the requirement of dashboards and scorecarding. And then you have the reporting like any other report. Like you have worked on reporting tools, right?
Right.
So maybe I'm just assuming that you might have worked on crystal reports. So just like getting out details of the sales. Like, okay, fine, this month what was my sales? Okay,
right.
So getting out details such as that, and so we have the reporting for that. Then you have the analysis, okay, analytical aspects of that, wherein you can slice and dice data. Okay, so basically it's an OLAP term, which certainly I'll explain you once we go ahead. Okay, so analyzing the data, basically say take an example of your personal expenses. Okay, so you might be entering your personal expenses in an Excel sheet. Okay, and you want to analyze your personal expenses, like like maybe in some credit cards, they are now giving you some spend analyzer, right. in your statement itself. They're giving you the spend analyzer. Where are you spending more? Are you spending more on the entertainment? You're spending more on the cosmetics? You're spending more on the food and stuff like that? So I mean, if you have to analyze that, then certainly it can come out of Cognos Bl. Okay. So there's some web-based components in Cognos Bl. I mean, it's entirely web-based. Okay, there's no tool like in a Java or in a .NET that we have a other third-party tool installed. This Cognos is installed on one server. Okay, and it can be accessed from anywhere, provided you have the connection to the intranet, and if it is hosted, then certainly you can access it from anywhere. Okay, so it's a web-based application. Okay, wherein this is just the the welcome page of Cognos. Okay, it's basically of Cognos 8, but we'll be working on Cognos 10, which is the latest version. Okay, so these are the BI web-based components. You have the My Home IBM Cognos content. IBM Cognos content would list out all your reports and analytics. Okay. And the IBM Cognos content would take you to the administration page, wherein you'll manage the users, the groups, the roles, which user has access to which reports. Okay, and stuff like that. I mean, which you normally have in the administration. Okay. Then you have the query my data, which is the query studio. Okay. These are all the tools. Then you have the analysis studio. Okay, which is basically, you can see a cube kind of a structure here. Basically, it analyzes the OLAP data from the OLAP sources, which I'll come back, like what OLAP is and what it is all about. Okay, then creating a professional report, it can be from a relational data source or it can be from a multi-dimensional data source. Okay, then it also have a event studio, which manages the events. Like say suppose some sort of a event in your database has occurred, okay, and you want some reports, to fire and run and get emailed it to the higher management or something like that. So you can use the event studio for that.
Okay, so out of this which one is like a more which requires writing, like the queries?
It's basically, see, I'll tell you, these query studio, this query my data, analyze my business, these tools are the end user tool and very simple to use. Okay. And I'll say simple to use, yeah, certainly it requires some sort of trainings, but once you are, you can do your own sort of, play around with these two tools.
Right.
But creating professional reports, this is something that requires some skills, wherein you have to write certain types of codes, not any high fundu coding, but simple codes. Once you understand, like, okay, fine, what you want out, how it is to be done, how report is to be developed, what is the requirement, then certainly you can, once you know this tool, you can certainly make reports out of it. So this is a report studio, which is an important tool in Cognos Bl. Okay. Then you have the event studio. Event studio is something that is, very scarcely used, but it certainly is a value addition. If you have certain requirements wherein you have to fire or run some reports based on certain events in the database or somewhere around, then this event studio comes into picture. So, for the Cognos Bl, report studio is the main tool. Okay.
Report studio is the main tool.
Studio, yeah. Okay. So as I said, there's within the Cognos portal we have a Cognos Connection. Okay. In Cognos Connection, which is a web portal, again the one which I was showing you.
Right.
Okay. So it has the query studio, okay, which is the ad hoc reporting studio, as I told you. Then it's report studio, which is basically advanced report authoring. Okay. The report viewer is basically, once you have developed the reports and in query studio or analysis studio or report studio, you save the report in the Cognos Cognos Connection. Okay. This web portal itself. Okay. Once you save it, you can view the report using the report viewer. This is not a tool out of the box, but it's just like running the report. Okay, so it's just like clicking on the report and the report runs in the report viewer. Simple as that. No big deal in this. Okay, so I'll not consider this as a tool, but certainly these two are the tools: Query Studio, Report Studio. Then you have the Analysis Studio, which is again I told you the end user tool, analysis for analysis purpose, and the Event Studio. Okay. So I would just like to know what kind of have you worked on database technologies? Any idea about it?
No, I have not worked on any database technology. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't have like that code, or I have taken some SQL classes.
Okay.
But I'm not like that. That I can write. I know the words of the queries, but I cannot write any code or queries. So I don't have like a developer kind of background.
Okay. So, but you have the concepts, right? Like there's a relational database. Do you have any clarity on what relational database and multi-dimensional database is?
No, I don't right now.
Okay, fine. Basically, what happens in a relational database is like, say you have, I'll consider this as maybe a employee. and the organization. Okay, so basically you have sets of table within the database, which is having the employee records, okay, stored inside the database. Okay, so you have the employee, and then you have a designation table. Okay, so which employee is linked to which designation. Okay, so these kinds of information, these are stored in the database.
Right.
Okay, then say, every month what kind of a salary he's drawing. Okay, and if the salary is credited to his account, or like what transaction happened with this employee. So this gets recorded in the table, in some kind of a table. Okay, so whatever gets recorded, whatever in terms of money, in terms of amount, in terms of say quantity, some sort of a price or something, that is called as a fact table. Okay, right. From which you can analyze certain things. Okay, like take an example of your personal expenses. Okay, so you'll put some sort of like, okay, fine, this was my entertainment expense, and this was some $100 for the month. Okay, so you're putting some sort of amount. Okay, so wherever you're putting certain sort of amount, okay, or some sort of a measurable value, okay, like the price, the quantity, okay, the gross profit, gross revenue, such kind of things are your fact table. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, in the OLAP terms, or perhaps in the business intelligence term, it is known as the fact. Whichever value that is measurable, okay, is called as a fact.
Okay.
Okay, and against which you are measuring it, say like the employee, like the organization, the designation. Okay, these are called as the dimension. So basically, you'll hear this word a lot, the facts and the dimension. Okay, so having clarity on this is very important, before even you step into Cognos.
Okay.
So these two terminology, you'll come across a lot, and there are a lot of varieties within these terms as well, the dimensions and the facts. Okay, so it's very important before you start up with Cognos, you understand what fact is, what is the dimension. Okay, and how relational.
I will try to go through.
No, certainly I'll just brief you up before we go ahead. If you feel like you should go ahead, then certainly I'll brief you up with what fact and dimensions are.
Okay.
And we'll start up accordingly. Okay. So this kind of a picture of what Cognos is and what it is all about, and what you'll be going through to the next in the next couple of months. So that's what just the picture that I wanted to give you today.
Okay.
So that's pretty much that I wanted to say.
Okay.
If you have any questions, if you have any suggestion, or perhaps what your interest is within this, if you have done some sort of research on this, so just let me know what kind of what is your expectation now from this tool. You want to learn only the Report Studio, you just want to focus on Query Studio or Analyst Studio. what kind of focus that you want, just let me know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. So this training, so this will go for for how many months? It's
see, there are a couple of tools within this. Okay, the Query Studio, like the Report Studio. Okay,
right.
So Query Studio and Analysis Studio is not a big deal. It can be covered up in say in 2 days of time. Okay, maybe 2 hours daily would cover up Query Studio and Analysis Studio. Report Studio is something that will take some time, maybe some around 5 to 10 days, depending on how quickly you grasp it up.
Okay.
Okay, and there's one metadata modeling tool, which would be which is called as a framework manager.
Okay.
Okay, which is basically doing modeling on the database tables. Okay.
Okay.
So that is one thing which is again important, because without that, your Query Studio, Report Studio, or the Analyst Studio, neither would work. Okay. So I mean,
Okay.
this, I mean, it will not work out. Yeah.
Right. I would, concentrate. I don't have much knowledge on this. So after I go through the different tools that you're talking about, Query Studio, Report Studio, and Analysis Studio, after that I would be able to say, which one I'm